So this guy was born in a Himalayan village with no electricity, moved to the US for college where he almost went homeless 7 times, surviving on $1 canned beans, and he started his own growth agency where he scaled over 4 startups past 7 figures, but he was barely scraping by himself. And then in 1 year, he built something of his own that changed his life. Meet Saad.
I started multiple different companies early on. Every single thing I started failed. I could barely see. I could feel hunger in my sleep. But for me, I was like, this is a prime time to go ahead first and do everything. And insurance company, and they're like, we love what you're doing, but we want to have something in recruitment. I'm like, sounds good. I understood the use case and it sounds good. My calendar is super packed for the next 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks and I'll show you a demo. In 2 weeks, me and my 2 other engineers, we worked 18 hours a day. We repurposed our product. Then in 2 weeks, we showed them a demo. They paid us $45,000 up and signed a contract for $1.2 million. I didn't believe it. We're born in a tiny village in Pakistan. It's in the mountains. It's around 60-70 people, no electricity and gas, and roads growing up. And then I think when I was 4 or 5 years old, we moved to the capital. And since then, I started selling stuff super early on. After that, 8th grade, I built this wooden drone completely from scratch. And yeah, basically I got scholarship to one of the best boarding schools in our country. And yeah, from there, first part of computer science class, built my high school website when I was in 9th grade. Again, complete from scratch. It was either that or me going to every single class. I hated class. So I talked to my principal and I'm like, hey, what if I build you a high school website? The only thing I want is a room in the library and an internet connection and a computer. He gave me that, gave me 3 months. I built it in 2 weeks. I learned the programming part from YouTube, and I built that website in 2 weeks till for the next 2.5 months. For some reason, I'm like, hey, everybody's special, but I know it has something inside me, like deep inside me. I know there is something. I don't know what this is, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna wait for that, what it is, to come out. One thing that's in my control, which is working harder than anybody else in the room. So that's what I started super early on, and I'm not saying it was completely perfect, but of course, I was a child at the moment, but that's where it started, and yeah, now that's one of my biggest strengths.
Explain to me how you basically got into New York City or got into college and like left Pakistan and then...
Yeah, so when I finished my high school, there was a point where I had to select where I was gonna go, right? One option was to join the Pakistani army. I was in a military boarding school. But then I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do that. Because one thing I really hated from early on was taking orders from people and people telling me what to do. I still hate that stuff, right? And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go study abroad. So I Googled it and I came across 3 places: America, England, and Australia. I closed my eyes, I put those things down and I did this. And when I opened my eyes, it was on America. So I applied to 20 different colleges in America, got accepted in 16. I got a really good SAT score. And based on our scholarship, came to America, and yeah, that was almost 9 years ago, August 6, 2015.
Now tell me, like, from basically college, like what happened from there?
Yeah, so that was a completely new life when I came here. My English wasn't good enough. I could barely speak English. I had no money, no friends, no family. Yeah, but from there, I started multiple different companies early on. Every single thing I started failed. I started 2016, I started this Facebook ad agency for myself, right? Failed. First company I made was this app called Quasi or something. Yeah, I made the app. I'm pretty sure it's still in the App Store, but the problem was I didn't know how people can find out about this, and at that time I didn't know. That was the first one. Then I made this similar to Uber Eats. I made an app 2 months before Uber Eats, but then Uber Eats came out, so I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. After that, I had the Shopify store and Facebook ad, but I had an option to either one time spend money, my grocery money, on Facebook ad, or to buy groceries. I spent that week's money on Facebook ad. In turn, the 68 cent, 70 cent garbanzo beans, like chickpeas, from Trader Joe's, I had a can of that every single day, boiled in water, with 4 liters of water, just drinking. And I was eating that every single day for a week, so I could spend that money on Facebook ads. It was $50 or $70, but still, that was a lot for Facebook ads. Yeah, the entire time I was in college, I was studying double major in computer science and math. Yeah, for the jobs part you just mentioned, I did every single job you can think of. I was a waiter at restaurants, Italian restaurants, high-end restaurants. I scooped ice creams at Haagen-Dazs. I was a barista, not barista. I can make coffee. I still don't. Still can't make coffee. But yeah, ice cream shops, and then I was waiter. I was making doner kebab, the cash jobs. Then my best time was I was a club promoter. I'm going to be honest. It was either $400 a week from all the other jobs or $400 a night from club promoting. And also I didn't know how to talk to people at the time. I was like, I can learn that. So yeah, that's when I went to that life.
How did it feel for you to be like working for someone else during all that time?
It was temporarily, because I know it was a stepping stone for me, because I know that, hey, I don't come from anything. So for me to make something happen, sometimes you have to accept that transitional period in between to get to where you want to be. Built this growth agency. The first client I had was completely on commission basis. So I made a really good offer. I'm like, hey, if I don't scale your company from 0 to 1 million in 12 months, I'll pay you $10,000.
They were at 0 when they started.
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna pay you $10,000. Yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna scale your business. You don't have to put any money in except for those email accounts in the beginning, and I'll scale your business to $1 million in a year. If I don't do it, I'll pay you $10,000. And if I do achieve it, I'm gonna get 10% of revenue share.
Isn't 10% pretty small for you bringing in everything for them?
Yeah, but at the time I had nothing. I didn't have any credentials like, hey, I'm doing something. I'm like, hey, I'm nobody, right? So I started that, and first 4.5 months, it didn't work out. Nothing worked out. Every single thing I did, it failed. I got part of different growth agency networks and stuff. Nothing was working out. But then cold outbound took off really well for me at the time. And from there, I made, I think 30, 40K for them. And based on that, I used that money to build multiple different landing pages. Then put that same money we made for them into ad spend. And then it started growing and growing. And within a year, in 11 months, it was $1 million, a little over $1 million. Then at the same time, when the month 5 and 6, I took 3 other companies on board. And this time I charged them $15,000 up front. I'm like, if I don't do it in a year, you get 100% money back, right? And yeah, that happened, and yeah, that took these companies.
So how did you get these clients in the first place? Was it just cold out on your...
Cold out on myself, yeah.
Or more like LinkedIn? Or...
Yeah, cold out on the complete email and LinkedIn, but for then.
What was the pitch? Were you upfront? Like, what did you say in the emails?
I'm like, hey guys, I see these are the thing that you're doing. For example, this is your product, this is your service, but I can help you make $1 million. So here's the thing: if I start telling a long story that I can do this, and this, nobody's gonna read that. So I keep it super simple, super straightforward. Hey, I can scale your company from 0 to 1 million in 12 months. If I don't do it, I'll pay you $10,000, something like that, right? In the first offer. And, test out different copy styles. They get back to you, get on a call, and yeah, just show them some case studies. While this was happening, I think in month 5th or 6th, I got laid off from my corporate job. So, and at the same time, I had somebody close to me, my first breakup, right? That happened. And then at the same time, I had my kitten who died, right? So I was devastated, right? So that's where I was like, okay, what can I do to make all this happen? So yeah, that's where I had to ask people for some upfront money so I can pay my bills. But yeah.
Crazy. So I mean, you were basically against the wall right there.
I've been against the wall so many times. Now I'm used to the wall. Anytime I go back to the wall, I'm like, hey.
I feel like it's crazy though, when you're that you can charge that amount, when your back is against the wall and you've never done that before.
It's all about perception of how other people are gonna look at you when you're selling something, right? If you go in there and you show kind of desperation, oh yeah, no, they say no, we only can pay you 10,000. Okay, sounds good. 10,000 sounds good. No, if you say 15, it's 15.
How are you not desperate during that time?
It's a game. Because here's the thing: if I'm desperate, they will know. And once they know, that's the game over. Then they don't trust me anymore, right? So I can't show them oh yeah, I can easily make this happen, but I have no money myself, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you say something, let's say 15, 20, whatever the ticket size is, just stick to it. If they want a better price, but then you also have to, perform as well. Because I'm showing them hey, if I don't perform, I'll pay you $10,000, right? Not even your money back plus $10,000.
Okay, so you're getting good results for clients.
Yeah.
But you just didn't want to do the work and you didn't like the agency life. And you pivoted to your own thing.
Right. Yeah, so I was running this agency, and I was like, you know what, I don't have enough time. I'm always working, which is good. I love working. But at the same time, this business is not scalable, right? I cannot make $1 billion from this company. That's I was like, this AI SDR part has $1 billion, potential. I'd rather go there than agency part. So my process was, for me, I was like, okay, I'm single. I don't have anybody depending on me, right? I can take risks as much as I want. And right now, I think before the age of 30, 32, anytime you can take risks. But for me, I was like, this is a prime time to go head first and do everything. And for me, anybody who knows me, they're like, I go head first and literally every single thing I do. So I was like, I don't like having regrets.
Yeah.
So would I rather have a regret? What if I start a SaaS company? Or I should just go start a SaaS company. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I'll make it work. But still,
So now explain to me how you basically, came to the conclusion of starting Nodes.inc, and what basically it is.
So we are a really bad part in the first part of this company where we were called AI Synapse at the moment, and we had an AI SDR, and it was making some revenue, like 3 to 4K a month, which is not bad, but still like it's nothing for a SaaS company. For all SDR, I was only selling it to like early stage companies, and I was like, you know what? If I start going after early stage companies, a lot of these companies are gonna go out of business in the next few months or few years. Then I don't have any clients anymore. And that's where I saw like, okay, we are running out of time. I was 3 months behind on my rent, 3 months behind on salaries. I didn't have enough money to buy cat food for my cat. I didn't have money to buy groceries. I was borrowing money, like $40 from people, and I was buying my groceries and stuff. But this time, the main difference was, before all of this time, something happened to me, it was just me. This time I had my 2 younger brothers with me. You know, I got them here, they go to college too, I paid the tuition and everything. So now I'm like, if I fail now, they're all gonna fall down because of me, right? So the pressure is high. Also, my cat is there, I cannot give away my cat, you know? So then let me just go the complete opposite way what the startups go. I went completely corporate. I went into insurance and banking, the hardest industry to get into. I started from the Fortune 500, Fortune 50 companies. So that's where our local what can we do. So we reached out to this insurance company using our AI SDR, and they're like, hey, we love what you're doing, but we want to have something in recruitment. I'm like, sounds good. I understood the use case. I'm like, sounds good. My calendar is super packed for the next 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks and I'll show you a demo. In 2 weeks, me and my 2 other engineers, we worked 18 hours a day. No, we repurposed our product for this specific use case, and then 2 weeks we showed them a demo. They paid us $45,000 up front and signed a contract for $1.2 million. I didn't believe it. Till when I didn't believe it, I got the money in my account, like still not happening. I paid everybody's salaries. I paid my, rent and everything. I bought the groceries, everything. I bought enough cat food for a month. And then I'm like, okay, I think it's happening. Yeah.
That's crazy. This was your kind of like first time working with big corporate, right?
Yeah.
Like how did the deal happen? Like was it just like, okay, on that call 2 weeks later, did the deal get signed right there? Like how did it work?
So it was a pilot first. The pilot was $45,000.
So you go on the call 2 weeks after, show them the feature.
And I'm like, hey, let's get started with the pilot. I did give them an option, oh, what if you like it? I know they like it because I could see on their faces they like it, right? And I know how much time and money it's gonna save them, and it's gonna help them with their hiring process too. So I'm like, how about this? I can say all these things and you can expect a lot of things, but what if you run a pilot? Let's see how it works out for you after 6 months. If you like it, sounds good, we go into contract. So they have over 200 plus locations, and we signed a contract for 1.2 million. They pay, and they're like, okay, so how much is the pilot? I said 45. They didn't even budge. They're like, sounds good. And I was like, fuck, I should have said 100,000.
I know that same exact feeling, bro. It's crazy. Wait, so this like the 45 was just on the spot number, like did you like?
I just blurted it out. But on the other hand, it's not like I'm bullshitting all the time, right? Like when I say that, I don't mean like, okay, I'm just bullshitting my way into stuff. You also have to have your actions match what you say. For example, the pilot was supposed to be for 6 months. After a month, they loved the product so much, they're like, hey, let's expand it to all 200 locations. So we converted 4.5 months ahead of time, just because the product is actually good. So we're putting in a lot of work to make sure that our clients get what they want, right? Because of AI, the speed is so fast. One thing that's really I care about in my company is I value speed the most. So okay, we might break a lot of things on the way, but we are way faster than most companies out there. This 1.2 didn't happen in that 2 weeks, right? This 1.2 has been building for the past 9.5 years, right? When I was working on those service businesses, talking to customers every single day and selling ice cream, I was upselling ice cream. I was like, okay, this flavor is good. What about this one? Okay, this is pretty good. One time I was working at this gift shop and I sold something for $11,000. People typically spend $100 there. I spent something for $11,000. But the thing is that you have to understand things from your client's perspective, see what their biggest problem is, and then you make your solution around that problem. But then you cannot do it for every customer. Look at, let's say you have 100 customers, look at what the main problem are all of those people, make a trend out of it, and see what's a common problem between all these people, and what's the second, third common problem, and then make a product out of that.
Yeah, so tell me more about what Nodes.inc is and how exactly it works.
I'm going to walk you through a case study and scenario that's like the ideal solution that we have right now, right? So for example, let's say you want to hire somebody. So you're going to go to a platform, you're going to say, hey Nodes, post a job post for sales position, right? Nodes going to go create a job post for your specific department or your company you have. Post a job post on all the job boards, LinkedIn, Indeed, whatever you have, all those places. When it has posted, then it's going to tell you like, okay, we have the job is posted. Then it's like, oh, by the way, I really like Alex from our sales department, but I need somebody like him or better than him. Actually, I also like, this other person. Then the AI is gonna go look at that two people, or let's say the entire department, entire company data, look at each person's performance metrics, their KPIs, OKRs, whatever you have, create a persona on the company or that specific job, put it on one side, then on the other side, it's gonna go and look at every person's who is applying for a job, their resume, their entire social media digital footprint. That's publicly available, right? So who you're friends with, what are you commenting on LinkedIn and that kind of stuff, right? All publicly available, not your private stuff. Then based on that, we're gonna create a pre-persona on you and match that persona to the company persona and give you a fit score and explanation why that person is a good fit for your team, for your culture, right? Let's say you're like, hey, everybody who over 70% score should get an interview. Then once you get 70, you're gonna get a meeting link in your email, that applicant, and we're gonna do AI interview for you. We're gonna ask you, okay, what did you do? If you're applying for, like, say, a Python job, what's that specific Python library? But then let's say you're like, hey, I worked at Google for 6 years, but the AI is gonna check if you're lying or not. It's gonna check your LinkedIn. If you're not connected to at least 4 to 5 people from LinkedIn or Google, it's gonna flag you, and during the interview process, the AI interview, the AI is gonna ask you, hey, by the way, you say you worked at Google for 6 years. Do you know this person there? Right? Or which department you worked in, or what did you do at Google? So it's gonna ask you questions to see if you're actually lying or if you're actually telling the truth. If you're telling a lie, it's gonna tell the people like, hey, this person is lying, right? Then you're going to be blacklisted, so you cannot lie. And yeah, then once let's say you have 100,000 people applying for a job, at the end you have these 10 people ready. The AI is gonna tell you, like, hey, we have 10 people ready for the job. But if you're like, yeah, I don't like any of these people, the AI is gonna go into other companies, other industries, see who's the right fit, who match your job description, and then headhunt them. So remember the AI SDR part we had in the beginning? So we didn't throw it away. That is our AI headhunting recruitment part now. So now it's going to go into other companies, other industries, see who's a good fit, reach out to them, book a meeting in your calendar, and then have them in your company as well. So for people who are not even looking for jobs, you can reach out to them as well.
Yeah, and it creates a custom outreach message.
Exact custom outreach messages.
And you're doing this at scale. Like, he's not just doing it at 100 people, 200 people, like hundreds of thousands of applicants.
Yeah, the reason is because right now, a lot of people are losing their jobs because of AI, right? It's gonna get worse and worse in next years. By 2029, 12 million people will lose their jobs because of AI.
So it's even a growing market for you, but
yeah, but the thing is that when those 12 million people are gonna lose their job, that means you have 12 million less jobs and you have 12 million more people applying for those limited jobs available. That's where all the existing applicant tracking system and companies that work there are gonna fail. Because people right now can put anything in their keyword match in their resume. If a job is looking for somebody in sales, they're gonna put some certain keywords in there, so then their resume is gonna be up. But then the hiring manager will have to go through each resume themselves. But the AI is doing all of that for you now, automated.
And then also too, I want to talk about another feature you guys are gonna be doing, but for the consumer market and how crazy that. I think that's the craziest part for me too. Because it's you're gonna have both sides of the market, and for your company, it's gonna be huge. Where you have people that want to get jobs, and you're gonna be, because you are the gateway, because you are the algorithm that picks the job, so they can't go to anyone else to learn.
Yeah. So I think we're launching in a few weeks is basically okay, we have all this thing for the B2B and enterprise customers, sounds good. But what about the people who are applying for jobs, right? So what we're doing now is we're gonna launch this free feature where you come in, you put the resume, and you put your target job link that you want to apply for a job, and then it'll give you a fit score of, hey, this is how good of fit are you for that job, and then it'll give you free analysis. Hey, these are the things that you can do to make yourself stand out for that specific job, right? There's some of the courses you can take, some of the additional things you can add to your resume and stuff, right? And then additional thing in that is gonna be, we can also take AI interviews for you, right? And then in turn, what's gonna happen is free for you, but on the back end, we're gonna store all that data. And then if any of our clients post a job, we'll know that, hey, this job that you posted, this candidate might be a great fit for you from our internal pool. Then you recommend that person to a specific job. And they might get.
This is absolutely crazy to me, because it's kind of like a monopoly at that point. No one can compete. If you this stuff excites me, because it's this business is once you get this down, it's crazy. Because you can imagine, so a competitor tries to come in, even if they have a better AI, a better whatever processing, you still have all the candidates that no one else really has. Yeah. And you could even charge for on the consumer side, it's even $10. There's millions of people. That's like crazy.
Yeah, we can definitely do that, right? But the main thing I want to focus on right now, revenue, that always comes later. My main goal is to take this company public in the next 24 years. And the main thing right now is to providing value. Money, we can always make it later, but the main thing is providing value for both the consumer, but also for the enterprise at the same time. And also, once that many people are applying for jobs, then people who are actually good for that specific job, they might not get picked up because of the old systems, right? So that's why we're building Nodes.
So Saad, where do you see Nodes.inc being in 5 years?
I mean, next 4 years, public. All the major companies are using Nodes. For example, let's say right now you say Workday, that's recruiting. 5 years, when you say Nodes, people will know, okay, which Nodes everybody's talking about, right? Because that's the new way of hiring. I know right now, so far, everything about recruitment is kind of boring because it's all boring companies, but we're gonna make recruiting exciting again.
If there's someone else here watching through the other side of the screen that maybe has their own startup, they're starting it, they got some funding, or they're just figuring out life. If you had 60 seconds to give them any piece of advice and everything else you have on the internet or whatever it be is erased, what would you say in those 60 seconds?
Believe in yourself to a point where people might say you're delusional. Now it might sound cliche, but this is what got me so far. So if you're not believing in yourself, how can you expect others to believe in you and your vision? Because once you believe in yourself, that's when the investors are going to believe in you. That's when the customers are going to believe in you. That's when the future employees are going to believe in you, right? It all starts with you, not with other people. That's the first thing. The other really important aspect is speed. Now, if you only believe in yourself, but you don't have action to back it up, so no use. Anybody can have opinions or ideas and stuff. But first part, believe in yourself. Second part, have very, very fast actions of every single thing you do. Make very quick decisions. Whatever you think you're doing fast, do it faster, right? And also one more thing, whenever you think you're about to give up, convince yourself that's just your 40%, right? So I don't know if you guys saw that meme, but there's a meme with two guys are, doing this and you have a diamond right by it. So every time I'm like super, super tired, I think of that meme. I'm like, I'm this close. And there was time in my life where I was like almost homeless and stuff, and I was like, this is it, I can't go any further. I told myself, I kind of gaslit myself, hey, it's only my 40%, right? I can go much farther. That gave me energy I didn't know I had, right? So yeah, believe in yourself, speed, action, and just never give up. That's the most important part, never give up.
Well, hope you guys enjoyed today's documentary of Saad. It's good meeting you.
Great meeting you.
Good video. Adam, good